All right, it looks like we are live, and we will just get started in about 2 minutes. I think everything's working with the technology, so welcome, welcome. All right. So, hello. I'm Cher Cunningham, and you are taking part in the Confident and Bold Challenge that started today. In fact, before we're done this live, you will have your homework sheets in your email box and be ready to go. I am so excited that you are taking part in this challenge, and I hope that you are so excited too. In fact, if you did not have a hard time sleeping last night because of the excitement, then you maybe missed part of the memo. This is the day. Today, you are going to take control of your life, take control of your day. We're on day one of you embracing confident and bold. We have a bunch of people signed up. Some people will join us live. If you don't join us live, you do not break the magic spell. While I tell you that I am a business hypnotist, that does not mean that this is something that needs to be done perfectly, that if you interrupt it, it's going to break it, that if you sneeze in the middle of it, it's going to disrupt anything. This is all neuroscience. And in fact, hypnosis is all neuroscience. It's all about your brain and the structure of your brain and how you can hack it so that you can step back into that brilliant self that you were born to be. Realistically, anything that is not already confidence and bold just isn't the truth. So first, I want to reaffirm that yes, this will work for you underneath any of the baggage, any of the mess that's been installed on you that has been anything other than brilliant, bold, and confident. All that isn't true. Underneath that is you. And we're going to recapture that in the next 9 days. Why 9? Because it's a 7-day challenge and we take the weekend off. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And yes, this will work for you very, very fast indeed. I'm going to try to keep an eye on comments. Hey, Patricia, thanks for joining me. Good morning. I'm so excited. I hope that you have your pen and paper handy. We're going to be taking some notes in here as we move along. We do an exercise that will wake up your unconscious mind and get you primed to do the homework. I will aim for 10 to 15 minutes each week. Sometimes we'll go a little bit longer, sometimes maybe even a little shorter. Your unconscious mind is so ready for this, and your unconscious mind works very, very fast. So I've designed this challenge to use brain hacking and time hacking techniques of hypnosis and NLP. That's neuro-linguistic programming, which is really just conversational hypnosis. Anything that speaks to your unconscious mind to activate all of your potential is hypnosis. So your transformation happens with such a tiny investment of your time each day because your unconscious mind is powerful. It is ready. You are on the threshold already. It's just a matter of stepping across. Our goal is 30 minutes a day. You can take longer, absolutely. You can journal about this. You can do some fun things with it. But if you don't want to take extra time, there is no need. Your unconscious mind is incredibly efficient. All you have to do is show up and engage. And if you're showing up in the recorded version, absolutely wonderful. So 30 minutes a day to make it so you show up powerful and confident and you take bold action on your bigger vision. And I'm so excited to see how in just 7 days from today, you have stepped back into your powerful and confident self and are acting in ways that prove to you that you own the day. And I'm going to be asking for some feedback afterwards and during. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, please do so. And if you don't like Facebook, I've mentioned to you, I'm over on YouTube as well. And I'm available by text. I'm available by email. I am here for your transformation. So we will go live at 11:30 each day for 10 to 15 minutes. We will dive into the lesson, maybe a little demo, a little activity, so that we put in place what that homework will look like so that it makes sense to you. If you do have any struggles with it, just reach out. So you should have received an email this morning that describes how this is going to go. Each day is a layer. It's a step that we're building as we scaffold on top of each previous day the magic ritual that you are going to create, because it will feel like magic. Even though it is based on brain hacking and brain science, it is transformative. If you were curious about how on earth this could happen so fast, it's because all change really happens that fast. If you think back to times in your life where you went from who you were to who you became, it was always just that paradigm shifting moment. Anything else was just the ripples from that shift. It came from you seeing a new truth and deciding, committing to live that new truth. And today, if you have said enough is enough, and it is time to take back your day, take back your strength, to run your business in a fashion that is confident and bold, then this is when we start. So that by Friday, you have that ritual that clears away the baggage, brings you back to your natural way of being confident, bold, and energized. Taking action from that space, right? That's why we want to do this, so that we stop delaying, stop the procrastination, beat out anything that is doubt or delay, and just move forward feeling fantastic. And you showed up. I'm so happy for you. And as I said, if you're watching this in the replay, that is great too. It's not breakable. It's neuroscience. You didn't have to be live. It might seem a little woo, but I assure you, So reaffirming for you, it will work for you. It is something that if you have a brain, it's all about taking the way that brain was designed, taking back control of it so that it works for you. And this is important, and it's not something that is just natural, because your brain is not designed for your brilliance. It is designed for survival, which means that while your heart, your mind, and your soul know that you have amazing potential, that you have things to do, that you have impact to reach, that you want to unlock that ability in your life, your brain, it's really focused on watching for saber-toothed tigers, looking for food that won't poison you, and potential mates, possibly, depending on where you are in your life. And 95% of what you do in a day is unconscious, which means it is automatic, habituated behaviors, or even just habituated thoughts. I could geek out about all the neuroscience of this, and I promised myself, no, we'll keep this short. But if you're curious, I'll pop in here a couple more times during the week to talk about why the neuroscience makes all this happen. We'll talk about some of the biases that are built into your brain and the ways and the reasons that all of this works and why it really works so fast. Sometimes it's handy to tell the conscious mind why things are working. Just like when we make a purchase, we make it for emotional reasons, and then we need the logic to back it up. That's true about this too. I don't want to overwhelm you, though, with all that neuroscience, because you don't need to know why it works for it to be powerful and profound. I can plug in my lamp and turn it on without understanding electricity, and that's what's going to happen here for you. So the need to know. So the great news is, and the bad news is, your brain is programmable. In fact, you are being programmed all of the time by society, by social media, by marketing messages, and those ones are so often scarcity-based with scare tactics. You're also being programmed by your family and your peer group, and those can be a lot about status quo and conformity and staying safe. Now, here's where it's good news. You can edit your programming and choose what program to run, so that 95% of the time that you are automagic instead of just automatic. Doesn't that sound great? So if you've been running programs that sound kind of like, I should do this, I have to do this, or how am I going to have a time, or where am I going to find the energy, or why is this happening, what am I going to do, then your unconscious habits that come into gear with those programs running, they will be reactive. They'll be filled with doubt, with guilt, and anxiety as you try to drive yourself forward. This is like the difference between using the program Notepad on your computer and trying to compose great things, or some other plain text editor that you have, and then suddenly discovering that you have Microsoft Word installed. It's like magic, the difference. It's night and day. You have colors, you have fonts. You didn't change the size of the fonts and put in symbols and headings and pictures. It's alive. So I want to do an exercise with you. Remember a time when you felt truly confident and bold. And I'm going to do this with you. And if you're confident and comfortable and nobody's around, and you can just close your eyes down, that will help with this. So you've felt confident and bold before. We all have. And for some of us, it may have been a very long time. And if it was just when you were 4 years old, but you were bold and confident, grab that moment. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I have never felt bold and confident, I don't know what she's talking about, you can do one of two things. You can imagine. Imagine what it would be like when you were so confident that you were bold, that you felt powerful, that you had that sense of, I've got this. And imagine a specific time you taking action with that. Or you could imagine that you were someone you know of who personifies confident and bold. All right. So let's come back to imagining that time. If you have a time, fabulous. So imagine that time, a happy time when you were so totally confident and motivated. And you were just on fire. You were like, yes, I've got this. I'm on top of this. I want you to remember a specific event, not that sense of, yeah, I felt that way. Sure. I want you to remember one event in your history. And as you remember that time, let's just take 1 minute to step into that moment as though it were happening right now. Imagine that you can just step right into that memory, see through your own eyes, hear what you heard, and feel the feelings of that time. That's right, just step right into it. Now, make it bigger or brighter, turn it up or down so that it's just perfect for you. Allow yourself to feel that confidence again, that sense of being bold, on fire. I've got this. And just let that build and feel that feeling. Good. Now, come back to here and open your eyes again. And we're going to do something that is a little playful. What was there in that event, in that moment, that is normally absent? Kind of a funny question, I get that. What was in that moment? What was in you, in that situation, that was normally not there? Chances are you might say curiosity, enthusiasm, compassion, creativity, or just downright boldness. Take a couple of notes while this is still fresh. Great. Now here's the next step. What was absent that is normally there? Chances are there was not perfectionism. There was not fitting in or status quo. There were no people-pleasing programs running in that moment. The difference between those moments when you are bold and confident and those moments when you are hesitant, overwhelmed, or procrastinating, or just darn stuck is the programs that you are running in that moment. It doesn't change who you are. You're still exactly the same person. But it does change how you are. And this challenge is all about that. How you show up and how you can deliberately show up in that first instance of bold, confident. See, those programs also filter the world. So when you were in that moment, some of the things that you didn't see, like your perfectionism or analysis paralysis that you sometimes run, they weren't even there. They weren't even visible. Your powerful, positive programs filtered those out. They couldn't interfere with you, could not touch you. They filter the world also, in that when you are running the right programs, powerful, strength-based programs filter out doubt, delay, and negativity. Whereas those negative programs do the opposite. They filter out all the good things that you could be aware of but are not aware of, like trust and collaboration and support, curiosity and play and connection. All of those resources that make life wonderful. So now here's where we get very custom. How you do your thing and how I do my thing are very different. So I can't just say, here, go do this. If I told you, go out there with curiosity and compassion, sure, it would help. Of course it would. If you embrace curiosity and compassion instead of negativity, doubt, and despair, stands to reason, your whole day will be different. But it wouldn't be natural unless those just happen to be your super strengths as well. It would be you putting on my strengths instead of yours. So while strengths will strengthen you, when we find your authentic strengths, those ones that fit like a glove, that resonate into your core, that resonance is what empowers you. That resonance is what makes it natural. And so that your unconscious mind can run those programs for you all day long. Need a sip of coffee here. Getting too excited. This is huge, that when you are standing in your own natural strength, not trying to be somebody else, not faking it till you make it, but standing in what is true and real and authentic. It is such a comfortable place to be that when you take that with you outside of your comfort zone, you still feel it with you. Harnessing those strengths and being able to activate them on demand is what this challenge is all about. Because it wasn't luck that let you have that amazing moment of confidence and boldness that we just remembered. It wasn't that the universe had aligned or that it was a once in a lifetime thing. We can recreate this and we can activate it on demand. And every day you will be able to change your reality with this. Change your world. And back to that automagically piece, helping you achieve your bigger impact. Because when you edit that automatic programming to be supportive of your potential, of your brilliance, of your actual strengths, when you start living life how it makes sense for you to live it, it really is magical. So you should have an email now with your homework. Set aside as much time as you want to work on it. And just that hint, it is your unconscious mind. So if you set yourself 3 minutes to do the homework and just do it very, very fast, you will have an even more unconscious response, a more accurate and authentic response. If you want to dig in, play around with it a little bit, you could do that as well. But you just demonstrated to yourself that you already have the answers inside. When we looked at those programs that were present in that moment of confidence, those are your strengths. That's why they made a difference. So go add a little more detail and find distinction to those powerful strengths that we just talked about that are the source of your confident and bold. And you'll see that you have some samples to get you started and a few extra couple of activities if you're like, I don't know. And if you are stuck, just reach out to me. All you have to do today is that one step of power. What are your core strengths? Some of them will hinge on each other. When I look at my courage as a strength incorporates a lot of other strengths. And it's funny because I wouldn't have thought courage was one of my strengths, especially as I look back at my life and I'm an introvert. I'm a very caring person. I wouldn't have thought courage was it. But as I pulled together truth and doing what's right and justice and being able to say what's needed to be said and not say what shouldn't be said, and I started playing around with all of these different strengths and saying, what do they have in common? You can't have courage without those strengths. It all pulled together. So you'll find that will happen for you as well as you try to come down to your top 3 or maybe 5 core strengths that really resonate as who you are. When you have that piece done, post it on Facebook if you are part of the Facebook group. If you're not there yet, please go join it. And share your paragraph about why those strengths are so core to who you are. As you work with them, you are programming your reticular activating system, which is the part of the brain that chooses what to notice in the world, right? When we're looking at those programs that filter our world, they're really core to that part of our brain. Just like when you get pregnant, you notice everybody in the world seems to be pregnant, but until then, you had not seen another pregnant person for years, if at all. It's what you notice, and what we want you to notice constantly on an ongoing basis and whenever you need it are your strengths. So the more you work with them, the more you're telling your unconscious mind, your reticular activating system, this matters to me. Notice it more, manifest it more, value it more. Go have a look at that homework that's in your inbox right now and post your results. Make sure to message me or connect with me in any fashion if you have challenges with it, or even just to share what you came up with. I'd love to hear from you. I will see you tomorrow morning at 11:30.